All right.
I woke up 20 minutes ago.
I was gonna say, you just had a nap, I thought you said.
Yep.
Nice.
See, I was confused because last night we were talking about 10 p.m. GMT and now we're doing 9 p.m. GMT. It threw me off.
Yeah, that threw me off too because I literally just ended stream. And was about to go to the laundromat real quick because I was like, takes 40 minutes to dry everything. I should be good. And then I got the notification.
It is 10 p.m.
Wait,
no, it's not.
I showed you the time. I showed you the time conversion. 10 p.m. GMT is 6 p.m. for me.
Well, right now, my clock says 10:27.
Did you?
I think you're living in the wrong
time. Do you have such a thing in where you are, where time goes back an hour or forward an hour at certain points of the year?
It does, but my phone is connected to the internet. It changes automatically, all as well.
Huh.
Apparently, I am finding out for the first time right now I'm on British summertime, not Greenwich Mean Time. Apparently.
For the first time?
The first time?
We've done like 10 episodes.
Oh my god.
I just assumed all this time that England just had one time zone, and it was Greenwich Mean Time, and I'm an idiot.
This pizza roll might not be good, but I'm gonna risk it.
This is perfect. I've been recording for the last 2 minutes anyways, so this is perfect.
Oh, great. Oh, good. You managed to capture my revelation there. That's terrific.
I was like, cool, I'll start recording since we'll probably jump into it. And then we had the time zone revelation of 1987.
My whole life is a lie.
Yeah, that's fucking amazing.
Oh my god, I actually don't know how I'm gonna get out of my room. My hands are covered in sauce and cheese. I have to touch the door handle.
Oh no.
Don't you have any tissue or anything?
No.
Okay.
This is the
No.
I wish.
Non-hay fever people problems. I've always got tissue at hand. Hay fever is not fun, but at least I've always got tissue.
That's true, actually. This is very true, yes.
Alright, so have you all thought about what you're going to say? Even the one among us who apparently has not seen the movie.
And I don't plan to, yeah.
Let's go. It's okay.
Alright.
I've talked to Shroob about it, so I've kind of given some spark notes.
I've heard enough.
He's heard enough! That should tell you how this will go.
How many trailers have you watched?
2.
Alright. That's something, I suppose.
What did you think about Luigi's characterization in his 4th scene in the movie?
Damn.
Is that the one where Bowser and Luigi is like hanging out weirdly, and then like Bowser pulls Luigi mustache hair?
He barely does anything in the movie until like the last act, so technically you're not wrong, I guess.
Yeah, we'll say. I've got a nice little list that I wrote down on a sheet of paper about various discussion points.
Oh, good.
So, should be good.
Shroob's just like, oh yay, and I can't wait to contribute to all of them.
And
indeed. Okay. Right then. Shall we get started?
Let's do it.
Salutations, game enthusiasts! George Mynerd here, and today we are going to discuss the Mario movie. But first, we've got a bit of a sad/happy announcement here. We've got Benson is going to be leaving the Flatmates. He might come back for a guest role here and there, but he apparently his schedule ain't the best for it. So.
No. I've decided. I told George the truth about this. Obviously, I was thinking about it for a while. At this point, it's been known for about a month or so. Obviously, with the schedule, not just for work, but content's picking up. For those of you that follow me on the Game Dimension and streaming, I've had great opportunities to interview developers of small indie games and been given some great opportunities to keep growing my content. And I think I'm after the burden that was last year, I'm finally fully ready to just sort of contribute and take a gamble on myself finally. So I'm pulling full steam ahead, pulling out all the works of my content and continuing on with my my day job in the meantime. So, but again, it was an easy decision, but I'm excited to see what these guys do with the happy bit of news, actually.
And the happy bit of news is we have a new host, and that is Krymzon Piranha, Mr. Fish himself.
That's me, yep. I've been here for 10 minutes and I can already tell that without Benson, this is gonna fall apart.
Okay.
I love the honesty!
At all?
I love the honesty!
Okie dokie. So, have you all watched the Mario movie?
Yes!
Yes.
Hey, George, have you ever played Among Us?
No, actually.
Okay, there's this little phrase that people say. It says there's an imposter among us. I also have not seen the movie. Huh?
Yay! I'm not alone.
Wait, you
That
haven't
is,
seen
I
the
lied.
movie, Krymzon?
Wait, really? I thought you had.
No. I heard Monty Mole wasn't in it, so I didn't want to check it out.
That is honestly a very valid point. That's actually my main reason as well that I left and didn't want to.
Okay, that's. I thought it was something else, Shrew, because you and I talk. Because after.
Nope, it's definitely Monty Mole. No, it's.
It's Monty
I mean,
Mole,
for me, it's just I don't watch movies.
Yeah,
That's really it.
It's so funny because when George announced the idea, Shrew was just like, I haven't seen the movie yet, and I was like, don't worry, I got you, and I gave him some Spark Notes, and that'll pretty much kind of be telling of how I feel about the movie and just how Shrew probably feels about hearing it, so...
Like, I know what happened.
Exactly. It's not like it's a complex plot, like, it's just Mario, but we'll go into that obviously with everything else, but it's just Mario. It's not exactly the most complex thing out there. Like, anyone could figure out what the hell the plot's gonna be about.
Oh, wait, Krymzon, you have watched the movie, right?
No.
Seriously?
No, seriously, I haven't seen it.
Okay, you're
Great.
fired.
This is a great start already. I love it. What a send-off for me. This is amazing. Hey Benson,
Well.
how'd your last episode go? Oh, it went well. Just about what you expected. Is very symbolic of me and my content. Oh yeah, what's that? Absolute chaos.
There we go. Oh, let's go. So the movie itself, let's talk about it, right?
Yes.
So it starts off with Mario.
Yep. Actually, you're already wrong. You're already wrong there.
I think it does.
You're
It
already...
starts off with cinematic shots of something.
Yes. Okay, you got something going there at least.
You know the trailer?
Okay.
I think it was the first trailer they showed with
It's
Bowser.
quite,
and
yeah,
the
it's
tank.
quite literally that first shot. Yeah. Beat
And then
for
doesn't it? Then it cuts to the brothers in the van.
Yep, it cuts to the Mario theme / commercial. It does, and from there it's just a whole
Okay.
Beastie Boys No Sleep Till Brooklyn montage. I wish I was kidding.
Oh,
It's funny
that's not.
because like it's weird that I have to say this, but you know, if I had a nickel for every time Chris Pratt was in a starring role and had a scene where No Sleep Till Brooklyn was playing, I'd have 2 nickels, which is weird that it happened twice, but you know.
Yes. And also, I think, to be fair, I'm actually fine with this scene being given the movie because I don't think many people realize, unless you've legit watched the Super Mario Bros. Super Show, that Mario and Luigi are from Brooklyn.
They even mention it in like their commercial because they're just like, we'll help you out around Brooklyn and Queens, and I'm like, okay, and like, we'll talk about more.
Let's not forget about the Mario movie where they were also from Brooklyn.
Exactly, yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I mean. Like they talked about it in their commercial. They're like, do you want like basically the best plumbing business in Brooklyn and that doesn't hurt your wallet? And they talk about they're from Brooklyn and. Again, No Sleep Till Brooklyn was a decent choice, I suppose. We'll go into more of the licensed music, I guess, and its usage in this movie, but I will say it was relatively the least offensive of the choices, and it was weird to see it used in the same scene as Mario and Luigi going through what is essentially an homage to one of the first levels of the first Mario game. But I get it, they're from Brooklyn, they're going to a job, it kind of fits, and it's still not my first choice, but I can respect where they're coming from.
Anyway, I did not know that this conversation was going to be team seen the movie versus team has not seen the movie.
Oh yeah.
We'll roll with it. We'll roll with it. It's fine.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Describing what happened in the movie as we go. I have seen this film 5 times so far.
Yes, you have.
It's that good?
Yes, it's that good. It is
Really?
that good.
Really?
This movie is everything that I've dreamt it to be. I loved this movie so much. It is so incredibly full of references to the games. Such a great, faithful adaptation of the franchise and the series in general. And there was a Paper Mario reference.
See, now here's my pitch to you right now, okay? I've heard everything about the references. Not every single one.
Yep.
But the references that I have heard are extremely generic to me.
That's also
Okay.
fair. That's fair. But and there are ones.
So
It's exciting.
please
though.
prove me wrong. Please prove me wrong.
The most exciting.
I want
one
to hear them.
The most exciting one that I had personally was actually in the same scene after they watched the commercial, where Luigi's phone ringtone is the GameCube, like. And that was more of a personal thing because I grew up with the GameCube, which is a cute little touch. And again, it's perfect for Luigi because he also was technically a start on the GameCube with Luigi's Mansion. So it was a nice little cute double entourage, you know, nice reference to Nintendo and nice reference to Luigi's Mansion. But I also can't disagree with Shroob if you're looking from that perspective. As much as they're exciting to me and you, George, as a Mario fan, they also could be seen as just this is an easy way to like spark some nostalgia for a Mario fan. I can't even argue that.
If it's a film about a very well-established franchise, it makes sense that it's going to have a lot of references in it. I feel like that's just job well done, really. But there is actually a cover of a tune from Origami King in this movie, which I was not expecting.
That was definitely a nice reference. Now, granted, I will say it is the most recent Paper Mario, so it's definitely like a hey. You probably will remember this, but I can't even lie, it still made me smile just hearing it.
A cool moment with the references for me. I didn't catch this the first couple times I saw the movie, but on the third or fourth viewing, there's the bit where when they're in the sewers and they crash through the wall. If the camera takes a wider shot and you can see the shape of the hole in the wall is like a side profile of 8-bit Mario's head from Super Mario Bros.
I did not.
That's a
catch that.
reference.
I was gonna say.
I get that's cool, but that's a reference.
I didn't notice. It's just incredible that most people don't notice it and don't see that. What? Excuse me.
I heard
the
that.
soundboard. I forgot about that.
I heard
We can
the
use that.
Was that you, Shrew?
No, it wasn't me.
Oh, okay, it was
No,
Krymzon.
that was
Okay,
Krymzon.
I just thought that was really funny.
that was
It
perfect.
was.
I thought that was
dear.
Shrew because he's pulled out the soundboard before. I was like, oh, he brought it back. But now we have another one, so George has
There
the
we
dual
go.
soundboard against him for future
Terrific.
episodes.
Okay, I mean, if you didn't see the movie, you need a way to contribute to the conversation, so I welcome it.
Well, to be fair, I've been contributing. Contributing. I can't say that word.
He can
Contributing a lot. I think, to me, a reference. If you just show a character,
Yeah.
that's it.
That's fair.
That's it. Because if this movie is for Mario fans,
Yeah.
Mario fanboys, they should go more specific. I think it should have a 50-50 between specific ones, and then, hey, there's a character in here.
There are a million little references to all sorts of things. There's all sorts of things.
Let me hear them.
Well,
this is already
there's
fun. I
King-
can't wait. I haven't even
King-
heard my thoughts.
King Bob-omb and King Boo are in the movie.
Those are characters,
That's-
so that's what Shrew already talked about.
I don't
Yeah.
care. And they're so
That's what
common.
That's what you just said that he wanted, isn't it?
No,
Anyway.
He wanted
a
a 50-50, he said.
50-50 is fine, but I want
Okay.
specific ones. I want more specific ones as a Mario fan, because I'm gonna say right now, this movie should be for Mario fans. I think that's
It
clear.
is. It's
is.
it's very much for Mario fans. I'm a
It
Mario
is.
fan and I was extremely satisfied.
I'm a Mario fan, and I bet if I watched, I'd be pretty bored.
No, but Luigi has
It's-
spots,
it's-
though.
it's not a boring movie. It's very exciting and fast paced, though. It's a difficult movie to be bored by, really. When I was watching
this
this,
one out. We might want to.
I will say one thing. I think I need to back up for a second because I think it's important to say my movie tastes. Okay, I think it's actually very important to say to like kind of ground my opinion on it. There's two scenes or two things that I like in movies. Okay, is it funny? That's like one of the most important things, and also emotional moments or just like characters being people. Those are the two things I really look for in a movie, especially as like a growing up teenager. Like those are the things that I like.
There's definitely bits of that here and there sprinkled in throughout the thing.
To be fair, I don't expect a second one from a Mario movie. I don't expect that.
You don't expect
No,
that.
I don't expect that.
Lower your expectations for this one. Definitely.
Yeah, I don't expect that for that.
I'll go
but I expect it to be
more
kind of funny, right?
It's not the deepest plot. As like just a movie, it's average. As just like a regular movie, it's kind of average. The plot is not very interesting or deep or anything like that. It's a fun kids movie and a terrific homage to the Mario franchise. I mean, it's the 4th best-selling animated movie of all time. It's got to be doing something right.
That's very impressive, by the way. That's very impressive.
It is impressive.
I will always put that out there.
Yeah, it is extremely impressive, but also that speaks to like how starved Mario fans around the world are, and not just in regards to content over including a new game, but also like just how starved we are of a movie since like the 90s, since the live action one, which has been making a resurgence because of this movie and conversations, and I've been like laughing so hard at it.
Oh dear.
And I think one thing I will say, by the way, is I think Benson and I talked about this.
Yeah.
This movie couldn't have been not safe.
Oh yeah.
It couldn't have not been a safe movie, which is why I think Illumination's making it works really well.
Totally.
Because they're gonna make a movie that works for everybody. I think if the movie like took a path that was like controversial, that like had like a character be unlikable, that would have been bad. Having more out there characters, that would have been bad. This movie, to me, from what I've heard, feels very safe.
It is.
But filled with a lot of references. I'm okay with that. I'm gonna tell you right now, I am okay with not only the Mario movie existing, but how it turned out. I am completely fine with how it turned out.
Right.
Because it could have been horrible.
Oh.
The last time a Mario movie was made was the worst thing in existence. As the actors have said, it was the most regretting choice of their careers. So, I'm fine with a safe movie here. Also, the animation itself looks amazing.
Oh, I think we can all agree on that. This is
It
some of the
looks
best
terrific.
animation, yeah.
Even though I will
It
say, I
looks
think they
so
look a little
good.
weird, but it's fine. Some of the
Alright,
characters are a
nice,
little odd. I'm just not used to it. That's a bias thing.
That is fair.
I think it looks terrific. It definitely is different from what you're expecting to see from the games, I suppose. But like, yeah. So let's talk about references. Is one of the things on my little list that I have here that I've ticked off just now.
Ha 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 ha! Silly past George. He thought the conversation about references in the movie was over. Little did he know, Benson and Trube would continue to talk about it for the entire rest of the video.
I want to continue on it, though. I want to continue on it. George, I want you
Oh, you do?
to list.
Well, I don't want to spend too long on each thing on the list, True, but
Well, that's okay, because here's the thing. The references are the most important thing to me.
Yep.
I think how the movie turned out and the references, because everybody keeps talking about the references, which is understandable.
Yeah.
So,
What was your favourite reference, Benson?
that's
Again, it's just the bias, but probably the GameCube ringtone. I do think
All
everything
right.
else was like, you could see it coming, like, oh my god. The one that I didn't see coming was them just straight up blowing up King Bob-omb, but that was funny as hell, though.
Oh, that... I felt sad about poor King Bob-omb. King Bob-omb was not doing anything wrong. He was sleeping peacefully. Peach blew him up, and that didn't even help her. It got rid of her ice flower and put her at a disadvantage, and King Bob-omb is dead for no reason. Rest in peace.
Nah, he deserves to die. And I'm kidding, obviously. But,
No, he isn't.
so here's what I want to hear from the references from you. I said this before. I want specific references to specific games. Like, Benson, here's what I would do personally. I wouldn't use the GameCube, like, turn-on thing, even though that's a cool reference to begin with. I would use the Luigi, phone from Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon.
Yes.
When Egad calls you. I would use that instead.
I would
because
even
that's
use,
a reference to a specific game.
I would even use the Easter egg reference that, like, that references the little tune the creator uses in almost all of his works, like in the option menu. That's still technically a Mario reference since it's so prominent of an Easter egg in Luigi's Mansion. That'd be cool to have as a ringtone as a substitute, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean,
But I
you
won't
can't
argue
really
that
say
so.
Yeah.
you can't say that they didn't put enough effort into the soundtrack though, because there's like hundreds of different Mario themes referenced in the soundtrack.
I'm gonna 75% agree with you there, George, because when it's the Mario music, it's awesome. Like, the medley that plays with Donkey Kong and Mario's final pursuit trying to get to Bowser's wedding was really, really good. And it's easily one of the coolest moments in the movie. But the times with the licensed music, like I talked about,
music,
terrible. Let me go through the list real quick, because this is one of my biggest pet peeves that pisses me off. Like I said, No Sleep Till Brooklyn. Again, it's passable. I don't think it'd be my first choice, but I get it. They're from Brooklyn. Hee hee ha ha. Whatever, I guess. Holding Out for a Hero during Princess Peach's training montage with Mario. That just feels like it's there because everyone's been talking about Shrek 2, and it's also been used in movies like Bullet Train, so it's obviously a popular topic to use it in any action sequence to prove a point. But you know what? It kind of works still. Take on Me by frickin' Aha during the sequence in the kingdom going to Donkey Kong.
I think that one gets the most. I think that one gets the most flack, actually.
And it deserves it, considering that there is a track of a medley that was originally going to be used, supposedly, that there was no need. It just felt like the classic Illumination standard where they had to use anything for licensed music because it's Illumination and they just want to get something, thinking that kids will love popular references. And you know what? It'll work because it's a reference movie. And then, Thunderstruck by AC/DC during the cart building sequence? Like, really? I don't think we needed that. That one, like, I will rag on Take On Me because it just doesn't work. But Thunderstruck is obviously the most, like, worthless one of the bunch. Like, it's not even anything cool. They're just building the carts. It's not even that epic. It's just them going through the carts like it's Mario Kart 8 with the little menu. There's just no purpose that it serves other than to just be there. Like, I agree with George. The music's great when it's Mario music, or just their take on it, but the rest of the time, when it's the licensed music, it makes it stick out like such a sore thumb and takes you out of the immersion because it just doesn't work. And it feels like something shoehorned in because, haha, kids movie, Illumination, they're gonna love popular music like we did with Funky Town and Minions.
I didn't mind the licensed music so much. It didn't really bother me, but I'm kind of naturally a person who isn't too critical of my media, to be honest. But it is definitely a shame when you mentioned the Take On Me bit where they actually wrote music that was like all references. That was actually. There's several bits in the movie where there were like whole musical numbers that they wrote for them, you know, with Mario music, but they replaced them with like No Sleep Till Brooklyn and Aha and stuff like that. There's several bits in the movie where they wrote music for them, but then replaced it with that, and that is a shame that they wrote that music only for it to not be included, because then you've got like the Donkey Kong that racing round the Kong Country place has got loads of Donkey Kong country music there that ended up not in it, and all you've got from Donkey Kong Country there's like a little bit of Donkey Kong Country reference music when they pull up to the door, and that's kind of it, the little bit there. Which is a shame. It is a shame. If you ask me, it would be great if, like, for the DVD release, there was two versions of the movie that you could watch, one with the licensed music and one without. That would be good.
That would also be good if they included Grant Kirkhope, the composer of DK Rap, in the credits.
Yes. Why? Why didn't they do that?
That That was
That's
the whole
so easy to just do. Why don't you just do that?
It was so weird when they gave credit to every bit of licensed music. And then when it came to the DK rap, which if you're on Twitter or online and got those commercials, they made fun of the DK rap and even name-dropped Grant, I believe, several times in their advertisement with Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong. And they just don't put it in the credits and just say, from Donkey Kong 64. Like, you put way more effort into the licensed movie, like music, than crediting Grant Kirkhope, which is annoying in a way.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, anyway.
And what is it? Back to the licensed music too, and back to like references. I think that's my issue with the licensed music because it just like it takes in a movie that's full of references like you're talking about, George. Music is one of the easiest references to implement, and they do that a lot, don't get me wrong, but that makes the moments where there should be really cool music in these big moments instead of needle drops all the more obvious. And the worst part is if like what I've seen online is true, possibly with someone from the team possibly talking about it, the final battle with Bowser almost included Jump by Van Halen instead of the Star theme that they used. And if that was the case, if that's the case, I would have been way more critical than I already am, which is saying a lot since I am very critical of it. And again, in a movie that relies very heavily on references, that's one of the easiest ones to do other than character drops like, oh, King Bob-omb, oh, King Boo, look at that, there's a Yoshi egg as a wedding gift. Like, I feel like music and character drops are the easiest Easter eggs to do, and you kind of drop the ball on the music front, honestly.
So I want to hear the references. I want to hear the specific references from you, George. Come on,
I'm gonna sit back for this one. This is the best.
And I will grade them on a scale of 1 to 10. Okay, on how good I think it was. Okay, then name any reference you want.
We're getting the Mario.
Any reference?
Card.
Any reference that's in the movie. Yes.
Any reference that I want in the movie?
I got one reference that he'll like, and that's it.
Yeah, Krymzon's got a point probably.
They do have Luigi's socks from the RPGs, but aside from
Well, that's good. But I mean, those are socks, though. To be fair.
Mario and Luigi escape from the giant Mario 64 eel riding a rocket barrel like in the Donkey Kong Country games.
Not Mario and Luigi, Mario and Donkey Kong, but yeah, that
Mario and Donkey Kong. Mario and Donkey Kong, yeah.
Wait, the eel. So from Jolly Roger Banks.
Yes.
Good. I like
Yeah,
that.
That's two references in one.
That's
Really.
the more specific one, so that already gets like a higher one, right? Because it's not just like King Boo's been used multiple times, right?
Yep.
So that's really good. And then with the barrel, that's also good. I like it. That's a very solid reference.
Yeah.
Maybe I think the eel's better than the barrel because the barrel's like a little bit like less specific than the eel.
They
So I
have
like that.
Rainbow Road.
8 out of 10 probably.
Rainbow Road, let's go.
Rainbow Road, 4 out of 10. It is easily the most iconic Mario track of all time. If you told someone to think of one, they're gonna say like Mario Kart Stadium or Rainbow Road, or like a Bowser's Castle, and that's it.
A blue-shelled Paracooper kamikazes himself to try and kill Mario and DK, killing himself in the process.
I think that's really stupid.
I
think
No?
that's really dumb.
That was an awesome moment in the movie, actually.
Can
It
I
was.
talk
I
about that
disagree.
scene, actually? I want to talk about that scene, because that kind of leads to my big problem with this movie, and why I think it's, like, just okay, even as a Mario fan.
No problems allowed. You have to give it nothing but praise.
Well, too bad. I gave it 3 stars out of 5 on Letterboxd. I'm the movie reviewer. Let me in here for a second. So the posters for this movie showcase all the important characters, right? There's Donkey Kong, there's Bowser looming in the background, there's Mario, blah, blah, blah. And on the main poster, you can see the blue Paratroopa Koopa, okay? Like, he's there, so you think, oh, he might play an important part, especially with Bowser talking to his army. Maybe there will be a scene, because when the Rainbow Road battle sets up the Koopa fighting Mario and Donkey Kong as if he's seen Mario before in such a psychotic manner that makes it seem like he's out for revenge. Like,
Yes, good point. I actually saw a Twitter thread about that. How there
Yes.
should have been like the. Did you see the same thread?
I did see the scene, Fran. That's where I'm going with this and why.
Oh yeah, cool. Yeah. How there should have been like another scene, like instead of like just the whole montage thing that was really short and pathetic of the traveling. They should have actually gone to a place and had a scene there where he attacked them and stuff.
Yeah, and that's my thing with this being like where I think it's definitely one of the lamer references because it feels shoehorned because they beat him and then he pops out of the rubble like you can't escape me. And then exclaims blue shell and then proceeds to kamikaze as if Mario and him have had a duel the entire movie. When the only combat/action before this moment was Donkey Kong maybe 10 to 15 minutes prior. And even before then, there was like the training sequence with Peach and that's it. There really, up until this point, wasn't any conflict between Peach's allies and Bowser specifically. So, and that
This definitely ties into the kind of lack of depth and lack of length in the story as well, because like there could have been like one or two more scenes that could have tied everything together a bit.
That's my bigger issue with it.
Yeah.
Because what is it?
Yeah.
Like I've heard this argument a lot, and I came into this preparing to say this because I've seen this argument a lot. Oh, it's a Mario game. Story isn't important. And I'm like, you know what? Fair. That's totally fair. But the only reason I have a problem with the story is because the pacing is obnoxiously fast to the point you start to notice how fast it is in an uncomfortable way, and it suddenly becomes a bombarding of references more than an actual movie. Like, the difference between a Mario game and a Mario movie is that you don't care about the story because you can distract yourself with these references on top of really stellar gameplay through worlds. However, you're not playing a game, you're not moving around a joystick. You're actually watching a movie and therefore have to indulge the plot to some capacity. And that kind of wouldn't be a bad thing if the pacing was decent and had about another half an hour more to flag out. Because honestly, the action sequences are great, but until the Rainbow Road, there was really only two main action sequences before this that I can remember, which was the Donkey Kong vs. Mario battle, and way before that, Princess Peach training Mario, which is just a huge licensed montage, so I count that as a half. Like, the pacing is so, like, bad in regards to action beats that it makes the moments where they're trying to shoehorn characterization in all the more noticeable, which kind of makes it fall completely as a movie, because again, you should be able to feel for these characters even if they're paper thin, haha, Paper Mario reference, like, you should, thank you very much, I'm here all week, not anymore actually, I'm leaving after this,
Hey, Krymzon, give us a laugh track!
Thanks everyone.
There it is.
Yeah, that works!
But like I was saying, like, what is it? That's just the problem with the movie, is that, I wouldn't care about the lack of a decent story if the pacing was better, because 90% of this movie is Mario going, oh my god, my dad hates me, thinks I'm a failure for this plumbing business. Luigi's like, oh my god, I'm living in my brother's shadow. Except he doesn't do anything until the ending sequence because he's captured, and they don't even show him trying to deal with being captured much to even sympathize with him. Like, it just literally is just, your brother is in another castle. I cannot stand the pacing of this film because it's so obnoxious, because even though this is probably a joke on the trope, it doesn't feel like it, for example. Like, in that same sequence we talked about with Donkey Kong and Mario escaping, literally, they have a little fight, and then Donkey Kong goes, at least you're not in trouble because your dad thinks you're a joke. And then Mario goes, well, my dad does think I'm a joke. And Donkey Kong goes, well, your dad's right. Like, it should feel like a joke, but it all happens so fast in the span of maybe 15 seconds, and then another 10 seconds later, they get the idea to escape with the barrel, which, it feels like such a speed run of a scene or a joke, and I get that it's probably trying to be something that just doesn't, or like trying to not overstay its welcome, but it understays its welcome too. It walks in the door, says, hi, lovely house here, neighbor, see ya. And that's how, like, most of the scenes are, in my opinion, when it isn't actual action sequences that are really well choreographed and animated, by the way. Easily the highlight of this film, like Donkey Kong and Mario tag teaming to get to Bowser's wedding, the final battle, and Donkey Kong versus Mario. Like, the rest of the time, it's all characterization of these characters we're supposed to feel for or get enjoyment from when there aren't references. But you can't, because they barely get to speak. because Toad becomes obsolete after they get to Donkey Kong, in my opinion. Like, he doesn't say much, and then when Peach tells everyone, oh, you gotta flee the kingdom, and he goes, no, I promise I protect you, and she just accepts it, I'm supposed to believe that when he's barely done anything?
Oh, you finished?
I guess so.
Okay.
I figured George was going to chime in at some point, but that's just my biggest problem, is that I wouldn't care about the issue of no story if the pacing was better, because this is an actual movie at the end of the day.
Yeah, I get that.
But,
Okay.
you know.
Yeah, pacing is very fast. Actually, one of my thing on my list of conversation topics is, do you think it was too short / fast paced? I guess answer to that question is yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I heard about it. I've heard about all this stuff. It's absolutely too fast.
I kind of talked about some scenes with Shroob and how fast they were when I was giving him the notes, and he was just like, really? And I'm like, yeah, that beat by beat, I'm not missing anything. And again, I wouldn't be harsh on it if it wasn't for the fact this is an actual movie and not just a Mario game. If this was Mario movie, the video game, I'd be okay with it, but this is the actual movie. You can't play it. You have to indulge the plot at some point, and even though it is a lot of fun references, it's nothing but references thrown at your face. And if you're a Mario fan that appreciates that, I can respect that. But I'm also a Mario fan that appreciates media and as a whole, and understands that a movie is a movie and a game is a game, and they do not cross wires at the end of the day, and why many video game movies do not succeed the way they do, because there is no understanding of that.
I liked the movie a lot. So let's talk about things that were good about the movie. Yay!
Okay, well, it looks really good.
Yeah,
I think we said that.
Yeah, we established that, yeah.
It looks really good.
Yeah. What did you think of the character voices? Because I liked the voice work in the movie. I think that Chris Pratt was all right. He did a serviceable job.
I do not, but it's like a bias thing for me where it's like I thought Mario and Luigi looked weird. It's the same thing for the voices because my mind is too used to how they are. But I wouldn't say they're actually like bad voices.
I would say Chris Pratt is definitely still the weakest link of the bunch. Seth Rogen being a close second, but they both still.
Ooh, I disagree. I disagree.
Really?
Most people seem to say that Fred Armisen as Cranky Kong is the least good, and they don't really see him as being very cranky or like that.
I can agree with that. I mean, like of the main cast, honestly. Like,
okay.
Like,
well, yeah.
Supporting characters too, I would definitely agree. He was the weakest of the bunch, and I'd settle for anybody else.
I think that Seth Rogen like actually fit DK very well, and it felt right to me, to be honest.
I will be honest, because as much as people gave Chris Pratt trouble for just sounding like Chris Pratt in the trailers, Seth Rogen Donkey Kong was just Seth Rogen. I mean, he literally did the laugh during the sequence. That's all. Like, it's just Seth Rogen.
Whereas Chris Pratt does actually do a Brooklyn accent for the movie, so that is still, it's something.
He still does a good job. I just feel like even though Seth Rogen's just Seth Rogen, Chris Pratt doesn't still channel as much emotion as Seth Rogen does at times. But they're still really good at the end of the day. They're still decent.
Yeah, and Charlie Day was like the perfect casting. I feel like he did a very good job as well.
He was a top performer, for sure.
Like he is actually already an Italian-American person who lives in Brooklyn, who comes from Brooklyn. So that worked very well. And of course, Jack Black. Everybody's praising Jack Black. Jack Black, I think, did an excellent job too.
Yep.
Oh, of course.
Have you two seen Peaches?
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
I've heard enough of it.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
To me, it's a little bit overrated. I didn't really see the hype around it because I was like, it's good. Like I acknowledge that, but like this is the thing that got like really popular from it.
It's because it's Jack Black in a popular role, so you mesh the two together, you're gonna get something that is gonna get popular, even though it might be a bit overplayed / overrated.
I don't. Again, it's not bad though. Absolutely not.
Not at all. Absolutely.
If I said it was bad, then I'd be completely wrong. Like that's just not true. I was like, this is the thing that like.
What's wrong with things just being fun and nice and whimsical?
It's a song that's kind of like emotional. That can't really be fun and whimsical.
Well, it's amusing. You don't expect it from Bowser.
Well, okay. I want to talk about Bowser as a character for a second because I've talked about Benson before. So, here's the thing. This is another personal opinion thing for me. I do not like when Bowser is the main villain in any Mario game.
Yep, I see where he's coming from.
It is so boring to me. Because Bowser is better when he is funny, not when he is threatening. Now,
I agree, but like, I mean, he does get to be both in this movie, though.
I will say though, one thing that I have heard, he is actually threatening in this movie. Which is, instead of like, he didn't like fail to be threatening, which is good. Thank God. But, it's really, like, I'd way rather have him, like, you know, how he was in The 1,000-Year Door, or...
Inside Story.
Yes.
Is it too early in the conversation to bring up the topic of talking about sequels? Because I definitely do want to talk about that here.
It's already
Don't
gonna
want
happen,
one.
we feel like. It made
I
over
don't want
billion,
one.
It already made a
Oh,
$1 billion, it'll happen.
Absolutely guaranteed, and I am so here for the MCU, the Mario Cinematic Universe, to take flight.
I'm
10 movies.
Oh my God, oh God, I really hope you're joking.
I'm
Oh my
skeptical-
God.
I'm even skeptical
I'm
of the
not.
second movie.
I'm so not joking, Shroob.
I'm already skeptical of a second
I'm
movie
terrified.
if they handle it the same way like they did this movie. Like, if they handle the sequel the same safe and almost undercooked way they did in this movie, then I would be a lot harsher with the sequel, honestly.
I think they're gonna go. Like, it just makes sense. They're gonna go a little bit more out there with the second movie, and then continue to.
I really hope so.
I hope they have actually amazing references this time, because you're gonna have to balance it out.
Yep.
That's
Okay, now,
like,
okay. So what do you want from the references then, Shroob?
I want more specific things for the references. I want more specific. Like, the eel is an amazing example.
Yes.
Amazing example. It's from technically 2 games because the remake, but 1 game. Well, actually, no, it's been a couple of games, but
He's been a
there
couple,
really
yeah.
isn't. There isn't too many games with the eel in it. There's obviously Super Mario 64 and then DS. There's New Super Mario Bros. DS that has it. I guess Odyssey has it, but they look terrible in my opinion.
They just look freaky and terrifying, and that's
Yes.
that's on purpose.
Well, I wish that they had like the big eyes, but it's fine. So I want more specific things, from one game or like a couple games where I don't want just, you know, hey, it's King Bob-omb. Because I can think of at least 5 things where King Bob-omb is in, and they're not like non-specific games. To me, that's
Oh, yeah.
boring.
Yeah.
He killed it in Mario Party 8. He was amazing.
There's also, like, King Boo is the same thing. I think King Boo's probably been in more games than King Bob-omb, if I'm being honest. Especially, I'll say it, I have the perfect radar for this.
So you want things that have only been in one game then?
More specific. That's kind of like, in a way, in a benchmark. I think...
Baby Rosalina, baby. Let's do it.
Yeah!
I mean, there's things. I'd say there's something in this movie from almost every single like mainline 3D and 2D Mario game.
Okay, so the ones
Almost-
that everybody knows.
Well, yeah. I mean, especially for the first movie, you're gonna want to have like the main games.
Again, I want a
ones
balance.
that
I
have
want a
the most
balance of, like,
appeal.
I want a balance from, like, both. I'm fine with them being there, right? Like, it's not a bad thing that they're there.
Because, like, when mostly referencing the main games in the first movie, I feel like they will expand a bit more in the future movies.
So, I know the exact radar, now that I think about
that
it.
we
okay?
have spoken about references for so long.
I was gonna
more
say,
I know.
You guys
They're
need to go back
they're
and
so important, though. I feel like they're so important. Because it's like the main thing that people talk about in the movie. They say, oh, this movie has amazing references, it's for the Mario fan. But I have a perfect spectrum to decide if it would be a good reference or not.
Yeah.
People say that Mario and Luigi Paper Jam has very generic characters. If there's any character that is in the movie and that is called a reference, that is a terrible reference in my opinion. Because it's generic. So King Boo being in there, that's boring. King Baba being in there, that's not a reference. Like, it's just like another character. I think it's more impressive that Cranky Kong is in there than King Bob-omb and King Boo in there.
There is also Diddy and Dixie and also Chunky Kong.
Chunky Kong was
How about
Chunky
that?
Kong.
Does the Diddy and Dixie Kong count as references?
Well, it's funny because they're all
Why
chanting
would
DK
they?
rap, and they're like DK.
That's
and then,
good.
And then the Cranky Kong's just like, all right, settle down. And then you hear a faint voice going DK, DK, and Cranky goes, that means you too, Diddy.
There
And
you
he
go.
sat there
Like-
with Dixie and Chunky Kong.
Like that was like genuinely one of the moments that did make me laugh because it was pretty funny and a nice reference at
Yeah.
least.
Mhm.
You know,
And obviously
sucks, though?
Chunky Kong being in there is good.
Oh, Chunky Kong, I'm
think-
glad. And then there's Chunky. He's not dead.
Yes, he's not dead! I think that it's very cool that they reintroduced Spike in this movie, who is a character who has been, like, not present in anything at all since Wrecking Crew. That's a really interesting thing that I think that's... Like, this makes me think about how the movie might affect future games, because Spike coming back in such a big way, like in the Mario movie, that might make him playable in the spin-offs or something. And
That's an
that also extension of that is like Mario and Luigi. We have like a solid family for them now. We've seen their mum, their dad, 2 uncles, an aunt, and their cousin and their grandfather around the table. That's really awesome. That we. Yes.
I heard the confused grandma?
Not grandma, grandfather.
Grandpa, sorry, your grandpa.
Oh, more lag.
More
More lag. Okay. Wait, are we talking about the same? Are we talking about the same Spike, by the way? Like the one that like takes things out of his mouth?
Wrecking Crew.
Oh, he's lagging.
What?
Wrecking Crew.
What?
Wrecking Crew.
What?
Bro, where have you been?
No. What? What are you talking about? Hello.
Wow, you're really lagging.
The lag is just like it's amazing.
Oh.
This is great. We've had nearly 50 minutes of podcast of talking about almost nothing but references, and then the lag hits. But we try to make it actually.
Alright,
Yeah,
wrap
you
it
were all
up.
quiet
What?
for a while.
What is Spike in ref? Is it just?
He's a
Do you
character.
do you know who Spike is?
It's just a dude.
It's from one of the original video games that Mario technically was in Wrecking Crew.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, first
Wrecking
off, that's a
Crew,
good
yeah.
reference.
Yeah.
That's a good reference.
Hmm.
Wow, that's a really cool sprite that I just looked up. Anyway,
And there's also when they're in Brooklyn part of the movie, there's references to loads and loads of Nintendo properties like Game and Watch and Kid Icarus because Mario's playing it, and loads of Punch Out references because that's the Punch Out pizzeria that they're in, which is
And
neat.
Arwing in Mario's room.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true.
Have you seen the movie or not?
No, I haven't.
No. Okay, you just heard about that. All right then.
Bro, I know so much about the movie, but I have you know what triggers me the most is that Swanky Kong appeared in one of the promotional posters, but he's not in the movie.
You're
He
right.
is. He is in the movie. He is the guy who slips on the banana peel during the aha scene and crashes into a building and explodes.
That was supposed to be
What?
Swanky?
That was supposed to be Swanky Kong.
Oh my god.
that's random.
And that's my issue, is that, again, if it was just a piece of Mario movie like a video game, then like it did its job for what it was supposed to do, being safe and being a Mario nostalgia fest. But I also have to critique it like an actual movie because it is called the Super Mario Bros. Movie, and it just isn't, it barely, because of that pacing and bombardment of everything every 5 seconds, just feels okay despite the fun, whimsical nature.
You say so.
I think I
say-
want to be careful if
think?
I say this. I want to be careful if I say this or not.
Oh, no.
Don't make George.
I'm gonna phrase it as a question instead.
Don't make George
Do you
sadder.
think- Do you think that this movie would be memorable
No.
if it was not a Mario movie and it didn't have references?
I would probably say no, and even now...
No, I've already said that. As a regular movie, it is very average. The story is not great. I don't really care. I had lots of fun, and I enjoyed myself a lot.
I'm happy you did, but even as a Mario fan, I gotta be honest here, once you find 90% of the obvious Easter eggs, and you kind of like see the hidden ones on like a couple viewings. This, because my friends and my sibling and my fiance and I all went to see it, and this was just an okay movie to us out of the two that we saw that week. But the thing that stood out for us is that this felt like a movie that you watch intensely, obviously, to see it the first time. But afterwards, it becomes a movie you kind of put on the background, in my opinion, when you start running out of references to look up, because nothing really just happens at a good pace, and it kind of, like, shows the other flaws, like the non-existent story, which in any other normal circumstance for Mario media shouldn't matter, and the licensed music, really annoying. It just becomes something that you probably won't even remember outside of references, which is like, yeah, mission accomplished, but it still has to be a movie at the end of the day. And when it comes to balancing references with pacing and character development, and this is gonna sting real bad for George, as someone that's been a Mario fan for like basically my entire life, and a fan of what I'm about to talk about for less than maybe 6 years, I had way more fun with the Dungeons & Dragons movie, because it handled Easter egg and references and character development and pacing, in my honest opinion at least, again, totally respect anyone that disagrees, at a great pace that makes you care about the characters, even though if you don't know the D&D lore and don't know about D&D, it's an average fantasy movie.
Okay, I haven't seen that movie, so I can't say anything about that. I'm talking about comparing it to other movies. How do you think that it compares to other video game movies? Because when I've watched a few video game movies. I've seen, of course, the original Mario movie, and I've seen the Sonic movies. I've seen Detective Pikachu, and a lot of excuse me, Shrew, but I'm talking at the moment.
Sorry, I'm just like thinking about my opinion that like actually like the two movies that you just mentioned, the Sonic movie and the Detective Pikachu, I actually am pretty certain they're better than the Mario
I think
movie.
the first Mario movie's better than this one.
Okay. Now that's a joke and a half. Oh, okay.
Joke, Krymzon.
Should I say my opinion then? Because I feel like I can't even top what Krymzon just said. And he's been unfortunately sitting with me in the background for most of this like battle between George and Shrew about references.
Anyway, I just wanted to say that with most video game movies, I tend to find them a bit naff. I liked Detective Pikachu a lot. That just felt like a good story set in the world of Pokemon that handled the concepts well and just did a decent story. And the Sonic movies, that one just felt like one of those, here's a CGI character in the real world. Isn't that wacky? And I did not enjoy it much at all.
Sonic does interact with humans in an actual world. Granted, the names and locations in many settings are like kind of made up, obviously, for plot. But do people forget when they make that complaint that Sonic Adventure 1, 2, Shadow, Sonic Heroes, and Sonic 06 had him interacting with humans and what looked like Earth settings and was legitimately on Earth? Like,
I know, but like I haven't played the Sonic games, so I wouldn't know, and obviously that would make me appreciate them inherently less than someone who has played them and is a Sonic fan. But like, I just care way less about just the real people stuff going on than the Sonic stuff. It just feels like it feels like they don't. It feels like they're not confident in the concept of a Sonic movie, so they jam in loads of real-life stuff to make it more normal. It's like the licensed music in the Mario movie, but on steroids. And I don't get what people see in the Sonic movie, that they love it so much. The second movie is better. The second movie is better, because there's more interesting things in there. But, like, there's the whole wedding stuff, and I'm like, ugh, why are we here? Why do I care about this? I don't.
Because the government agents, technically speaking, it does tie into the story.
I suppose.
Oh, thank God.
And
it was kind of funny that everyone at the wedding was actually a secret agent, and like the Reverend reveals a gun in the Bible. That was kind of funny, but it didn't feel. it didn't feel relevant, and it just felt just shoved in.
Which brings us to Benson's rating of these movies to answer George's question, and is totally not controversial. If we're ranking it based off the new age of video game movies, last place, I can't even disagree with it. First Sonic the Hedgehog movie, it's decent, but I will agree with it in general. Right up after that, the Super Mario Bros. Movie, we already know where that's going. Second place, Sonic 2. It handles it way better and handles pacing and heartfelt and game references a lot better. And number one of my favorites, Detective Pikachu.
Yeah, Detective Pikachu, honestly, really like that movie. We'll happily rewatch that one, enjoy that one a lot.
And the thing about Sonic 2 and Detective Pikachu that Sonic 1 and Mario don't have is a well balance of the references with good story and pacing. And that's just where it is. They're still all okay, at the very least, like Sonic 1, and pretty good /8 out of 10 /9 out of 10, depending on who you are, like Pikachu. But that's just where we are with video game movies.
So, we've gotten quite far into the conversation now. I think that it is very, very certain that there will be a sequel to this movie, if not multiple sequels to this movie. And there are.
No, there's not the option of having 0.
And no, there's no option of 0. It's made over $1 billion. This is getting sequels.
I think it would have been. It's so good to just end it, because where the frick do they go?
Well, that leads me into my point, because the sequel probably will be a Super Mario World movie-esque thing, because the post-credit scene, I will say, Super Mario World.
Did you ask that question? The Mario franchise is enormous. There's a million places they could go.
The issue is, okay, are we gonna go to, like, I don't know, wait, Super Mario Worlds, is that next?
That's probably it, because I will admit, the most disappointing aspect of this movie, outside of my general problems, this is more of a nitpick. The post and mid-credit scene, Peach's the rehearsal again, like, cool, whatever. It was funny the first time, it kind of is the second time. And then the last post-credit scene, which, by the way, I was talking to Shrewd about this, and my sibling and I leaned into each other because they did already spoil the post-credit character reveal in the wedding scene. Yoshi, obviously.
Yes, the post-credit scene, I don't bother staying to watch that again when on my repeat viewings, because that was kind of a naff one. Like, you watch the post-credits, and I was expecting something like Rosalina to be in the post-credit scene, to be honest.
I did not expect that, I'll be honest.
Just to get a Yoshi egg, that was very boring, because, like, we've already seen Yoshis, and we've already seen the Yoshi egg. Like, so,
you see it as part of, like, the wedding gifts,
but, like,
and I'm like, that's it, isn't it? That's our character reveal, and my sibling
but,
goes,
like,
it has to be.
I mean, that could, like, since it's in the sewers, that could just suggest that the next movie will start off, Yoshi is terrorizing Brooklyn, eating people.
Wow!
What kind of creepypasta idea did you just come up with, George? What the hell? Like, no way. This is not Sonic.exe. This is Mario. This is not Ben Drowned. This is Mario, okay? The worst Yoshi's gonna do is, like, eat somebody's fruit stand and then shit out an egg, so... That's
well, is it... yeah, okay, but, like, there is a lot of potential for sequels in the future. Like, I mean, the people have talked about a Luigi's Mansion movie, that could be interesting. People have talked about a Donkey Kong Country movie, that could be interesting as well. Of course, there's Galaxy out there. I feel like they're definitely doing deliberate Galaxy bait in this movie. What with there's a Luma here for no reason, which, by the way, funny character, didn't really have much of a reason to be there, but...
It was the most funny running gag I'd say I enjoyed out of the movie.
Okay, Benson liked something in the Mario movie, guys!
Okay, hold on a second. I like everything. I genuinely like this movie. Like I said, it's a 3 out of 5 star for me. But for all the really solid small wins, as it should, there's a lot of lows as an overall movie that knock it back so much. And I have to talk about it because it's still a movie at the end of the day. And if you walked in just wanting the references and all that stuff, then you won. Like, congratulations.
Okay. Yeah, you've ranted long enough now, Benson. I am now rescinding your complaining privileges. You must now only praise the movie. Anyway,
I already did all my praising then, if that's the case. So.
Okay.
So
Well,
I'm
it's been nice having you, Benson.
I guess Krymzon and I are just sort of just sitting here now, like at the first 20 minutes when you and Shroob went at it about the references.
I'm just letting things play out.
Oh yeah, you're getting a feel for the podcast. Trust me, you're in good hands, my friend. You're in real good hands. I just want to let you all know,
So-
too, we've been doing this for an hour already.
Yeah. So, Krymzon, what did you think of the movie?
I don't know, I have opinions. I think it would have been funnier if Bowser got on his piano and started singing Take On Me rather than Peaches. I think that would have been pretty good.
Oh my god.
I definitely think there's some key characters missing, even if they weren't relevant to the plot in any way. They could have been crammed in. There's no Wario and Waluigi, man. What are we doing here?
That's a good point. That is such a good
I
point.
feel like, I mean, this movie is very, like, it's short and the plot is shallow, but, like, honestly, I'd say that it feels very dense, to be honest. And for more characters, you definitely want to make the movie longer, which I would not complain about at all, definitely. Like, it could do with like a whole extra act and stuff. Yeah, so really, really good bits of the movie. Like the action parts, like you mentioned before, Benson, they're really, really good.
I enjoyed them. I think even though they were very few and far between and really did showcase the bad pacing, which in turn the story and all that blah blah blah. I think the action sequences for
Not loud.
Earth did really, really good, especially that final
Yes.
sequence with Mario and Donkey Kong. That was my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah, well, I really like the whole Mario versus Donkey Kong fight, and I'm glad that I can say the words Mario versus Donkey Kong when I'm talking about this movie because I love that game series. Yeah, I like the bit at the end with the bonsai bill. That was awesome, but like it also felt like Mario was just leading this, what is essentially a nuke back to Brooklyn, and he was going to blow.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure people.
That's not good.
I'm pretty
That's
sure
what I
people
thought.
actually died.
That's what I thought was gonna happen. Like, but no, it just exploded in like the ether place over there. But yeah,
And then the final battle, really solid. Didn't overstay its welcome. Could have used.
It was
more Van
awesome.
Halen.
Didn't you say that it was like in Brooklyn?
Yeah.
yes,
See,
to go back
that
to
is-
Brooklyn.
That is a great idea for the final battle. I think that is an amazing thing that they did.
It is definitely clever.
Yeah.
I will appreciate that.
Starts in Brooklyn, it ends in Brooklyn. Mario and Luigi get approval from their parents, which is nice.
Oh, that's the story. I forgot about there was a story in this movie. Sorry, my bad.
Yes! Watch the movie, and then you will see what the story is.
We
Alright,
just
I
told
even-
him the entire movie in like 5 sentences or less, though. There's references. Mario's parents hate him. They get
No,
approval.
but
Yeah.
this is a legit thing. I did not even know that was a plot point in the movie because
It is.
all I've heard about is references.
It's like when I told you with like Donkey Kong and Mario speed running a conversation about their dad.
See,
I thought-
I didn't even know
I
about
thought
that.
I thought that bit was really funny. Actually, I liked that a lot.
It would have worked. They just sped ran the entire scene though, which undermines the joke because why do it in the first place if you're just gonna figure it out anyway?
Yeah, I suppose it would have been better if they had a longer, like, quiet introspective conversation before leading up to the joke at the end of it. Would have been better. But yeah, the priorities in this was move the plot along, get on with it, let's get to the next actiony bit, which honestly probably little kids, I feel like, definitely would really enjoy this movie. Little dumb kids who don't really care about the story at all and they just want to see things happen really love this movie, I think.
Yeah, but I'm not surprised.
Not surprised at all either.
I did leave the cinema thinking, boy, if I was a kid and I saw this movie, I would have loved it like 100 times more.
No, would you actually though? And here's my debate on this. Would you actually notice the references?
He's got a good point.
I mean, if I was a kid and I had still played the games that I had, then yeah.
I think it depends. I don't think I would have, but I definitely was a way dumber kid than you guys probably think.
Okay.
I never
Well,
thought
like-
of that though.
Like I was a very dumb kid. So like, yeah, like in that regard,
Like a kid would probably get more entertainment from the action and the comedy than the references, though.
yeah, that's the issue.
To be honest, yeah, they would.
And even then,
By the way, when I went to go see it for the first time, it was actually the earliest possible showing in my town's cinema that they had, and.
That's not a dig on you, by the way. I expected this.
Yep, and there was the bit in the movie where a Bramball walked by, the weird things from New Super Mario Bros. Wii, that sort of flip over and over and over themselves, plant things. It walked by, and there was a little girl that was sat behind me that yelled, "What the hell is that?" And everybody laughed, and that was funny.
see, that
What?
proves Shrub's point though. They wouldn't care about the references.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, so the point that I was trying to make, but I don't think I quite found the right words for, was that as a kid, you would enjoy the movie a lot in terms of like the fast-paced and energeticness. It's fast-paced, a lot of action. It's funny stuff like that. They would enjoy those bits way more than more discerning, more adult viewers would. They probably wouldn't get the references as much as a lifelong Mario fan would, but they would enjoy the overall vibe and feel of the movie. The references are there, they're good. If you are a lifelong Mario fan, you appreciate them all the more, but besides the references, it's a fun movie. It's more than just references. I'm feeling like that scene where Donkey Kong is in the eel with Mario, and the Mario movie is shouting, "I am more than a movie that references things."
I think overall, to sum everything up, I think the movie worked.
Okay.
That is the exact thing I would say. I think the movie worked.
They made $1 billion, so of course it did.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Well,
thanks so much.
in terms.
Don't worry.
Okay.
$1 billion, baby. Let's go.
Okay.
Barbie time.
Oh God, this is awful.
Ryan
I don't wanna hear
Gosling
that.
is Ken. Come on, Barbie. Let's go, Barbie.
No. But I think overall the movie worked
yeah.
as a goal. As a goal, it was trying to it was very safe.
Yep.
I don't think anyone hates the movie
I don't think
unless it's like the ideology of the movie. Which is, like-
I do know one or two
which is,
people
like-
that do not like it. That's
But do they hate it? There's not really anything really boily hate about it.
fair. No, I
Because
would,
they
no, I wouldn't say. It's just stuff
They
that's-
either say this is bland and naff, or this is really good.
That's the
Yeah.
thing. Which bland I think makes it forgettable.
Yep.
So that was my debate for it being will people remember this? No.
I don't think so. Even as a Mario fan, I gotta agree. Once you find all the references to see, or watch 50 YouTube videos where it's like, the top 10 references that you missed in the Mario movie. Let's go. Once you start seeing all that, you kind of just put it on the background at that point, I feel like, while you're, doing a puzzle or playing a Mario game, I guess. So,
See, that's Marioception right there. I don't think we could do that.
well,
I think I'll confuse the person too much.
depending on the person, true. Remember, little kids will enjoy it, but, that's just the action.
Anyway,
I think we've ruined George's day. He's gonna edit this podcast later and just be like, "Why am I have this feeling of sadness?" Listen to this and go, "Oh yeah, that's why."
highlight Benson's portion. Delete.
There we go. Why are we highlighting Benson's portion? But I was I was the person ranting on the movie the entire time. And I didn't even
Yeah,
see it.
your complaints don't count. You haven't seen it.
At the very least, I'm complaining about stuff. I'm at least complaining about stuff that I can't complain about the movie being funny or not. That's not allowed.
Yeah.
That's
No,
not allowed.
Benson-
I can't complain about the
Benson-
pacing.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you a yes or no question. You're not allowed to elaborate any further. Yes or no? Did you enjoy yourself when you watched the movie?
Oh, this is gonna be. Yeah, I guess.
That's too many words, Benson.
Well, unfortunately, it's not black and white. I'm not gonna just sit here and BS a one-word answer. That's not the game.
Was fun had?
Somewhat, yes.
Somewhat, yes. Okay.
Hey,
Again,
Benson,
I'm
didn't
not
you
gonna-
watch this with like your friends?
Yeah, we all agreed. There were we enjoyed ourselves way more with D&D.
No. I'm saying that anything with friends is gonna be at least a little fun.
That's true. That is exactly true.
That is why when George asked the question, I thought it was very funny.
I watched this with my brother, and I annoyed him so much during the movie by pointing and whispering to him, like,
Oh no, George, you can't do that.
The movies! Oh, the magic of cinema is gone.
I'm so excited for the 20 sequels that will be coming out.
No, I will
Yes.
just do 1 or 2 and then cut it off. For the love of God.
1 or 2, no more.
Like,
No,
yeah, honestly,
my
I
God.
kind of agree with Shrew, but it's inevitable. So just brace yourself for Super Mario World and Mario Galaxy, and then eventually Mario does his taxes.
I'm not opposed to, I know George mentioned, I'm not opposed to a Donkey Kong or Luigi's Mansion, because in my opinion, that's not a sequel. That is a completely different movie.
Spin-off.
Yeah, like I said, the Mario cinematic universe, like, it's not just following Mario all the time. There's other.
Why is there Mario movie lore? This should not happen.
Because there is now. Get used to it.
No.
Yeah, there's like little scrappings of lore for your Shrew.
All right, who are you guys casting to play Count Black in the inevitable Super Paper Mario adaptation?
Okay, that
Never. I'll
definitely
hate-
isn't happening. That's never gonna
Never.
happen.
Never. I'll hate the game after that.
Like, legitimately, they gave us, they're like, congrats, you get Origami King melody. Okay, there's your thing. Go away now, Paper Mario fans. You're good.
It's funny.
And that's about it. That's
Yeah.
all Mario RPG fans really get. So, and even then, it's a recent reference at the end of the day.
We shall see. I feel like I honestly, when I saw the Mario Bros. Rap from the Super Mario Bros. Super
That
Show,
was fun.
when I saw that, I honestly felt like there was less of a chance that they would reference the Super Show than they would the RPGs. That feels way more out there than the RPGs, so I feel like that put the door open to anything, to be honest.
No, I think it's actually the exact opposite, that they didn't reference more RPG stuff when they mentioned the Super Mario Bros. Super Show stuff.
I mean, the Mario Bros. Super Show's become a meme over the last few years anyways. Like
True.
Mario! It's everywhere on the internet now. Of course they're gonna reference the most popular media to one of the most popular franchises in their movie that's going to be popular.
George washing Toad in the next Mario movie when?
He doesn't exist.
I hope so.
He doesn't exist. Your Paper Mario reference was King Bob-omb blowing up. If you're a Paper Mario fan, you look at that, get flashbacks and go, Bobby. Poor Bobby. And that's it. That's all you get.
Alrighty then. Anything else that we haven't spoken about that I want to talk about?
Yeah, for me, I just want to mention, like, just quickly, was the movie funny to you guys? I can't comment on that.
Very much so, yes. I laughed several places.
Where?
In the
theater.
when DK blows out Mario's fire flower, the aforementioned well, your dad was right bit, the whole bit where they're doing the plumbing and it's going wrong and Francis the dog is trying to kill them.
Francis the dog. Back.
This is a real
Yes,
thing.
let's say that that's another Paper Mario reference. I decide to believe that that is a reference to Francis
No.
the Chameleon.
If you're going down,
No.
if you start going down that path, if you start going down that path, then your credibility for saying the references are gonna go way down.
At that point, you might as well say when Mario says Black to the mushrooms, you go, that's Count Black! That's a Count Black reference!
Oh dear.
It could be. You can't say for sure.
No, it's definitely
You got
not.
me there. You got me there, I guess.
I really liked. Speaking of Francis, I really liked the bit where Francis just nodded to Luigi at the end of the movie, like respect. That was good. I liked that bit.
I think Francis Drake should have been in the movie. We haven't seen him since Mario's Time Machine. It's about time he
Where's
comes
Drake?
back.
What the hell?
Oh my god, that's not. Oh my
Ooh.
god. From Mario's Time Machine, the best Mario game.
No, that's the sequel that we need.
He could add so much plot.
Yeah.
There
I
we
think
go.
that Bowser Jr. will be in the sequel.
He should.
I forgot he wasn't in there either. Koopaling's a fun with not being in there. That's
I
fine.
hope not.
Koopaling was referenced in the movie.
What? And Bowser Jr. wasn't?
No.
What?
Well, Bowser Jr. doesn't
Bowser
have
Jr.
a
wasn't a
PS. It's
character?
his own fault.
I kind of imagine like a Bowser Jr. heist to get his dad back from Peach's castle or something.
Interesting.
That could be fun. Yeah, but like you mentioned earlier, you like Bowser best when he's not the villain. I think like in a sequel, Bowser could not be the villain. He could just be another character potentially.
Good.
I mean, in terms of other villains that they could do, I mean, aside from the characters in the RPGs, which they obviously aren't going to use, I guess there's Wart. You could have Wario.
Yeah, they should have had that in the movie to begin with. Honestly, like Piranha said, I'm surprised that he wasn't in there to begin with.
Everyone was thinking he'd be the post-credit scene, honestly. Now, granted, that's just wishful
Right.
thinking, but everyone
enough.
thought.
That'll do, I think.
Yeah.
Unless you got any last second really big things that haven't been mentioned yet.
No?
Yeah, I don't think so. I've talked enough about the references.
No?
So, anyway, the unanimous decision is that this is the best movie ever made. Thank you very much for watching, dear viewers.
Yeah, I
Thank
know.
you very
I
much
heard.
for watching, dear viewers.
Watch Blade Runner.
Yeah, there we go.
Thank you very. I've never seen that. Thank you very much for watching,
Okay.
dear viewers. Let us know your opinions on the Mario movie in the comments. And until next time, farewell, everyone.
For the
Bye.
last time.